Hi, welcome back to One Word a Day. So soon, because this is a bonus version. And because I recently just watched a movie, DUNE, and it made some special sense, or I made some special connection with the movie that I just have to share with you what it means to me and how it can tie with Chinese philosophy and what characters, like what exactly phrase will be fitful for what I took away, the 2 cents, only 2 points that I will talk about today, because there's so many things to talk and I don't want to be, taking too much time. And this is not a full-flung movie review. It's just the two main points of wisdom, like glittering wisdom that I took from the movie. So one is what I saw at the end of the movie when the story is closing, and after all the dramatic moments and the sceneries that we sing, and then we come to this dark point in a dark theater, and this DUNE, the image, like a mirage, right, showing up. I mean, color scheme of the movie is gorgeous. It's gold, it's glittering, and immediately I recognized, wow, this is a very pure and simplified version of DUNE, the title, and some genius make the character 4 English letters with one shape, and somehow the one shape in 4 different directions, pointing to 4 directions, are the exactly 4 characters. And even if like the letter E with a horizontal line is like hard to ignore the horizontal line to make it really a E, otherwise it becomes a C, right? So they put a star over there, which is so appropriate. And then you can see this arches, like in 4, almost like a shoe horse shape, right? And then this is just talks strongly to me somehow. I mean, it's 2.5 hour movie, and some people may, feel tired already at the end of the movie, but my eyes just open up when I see this. Here's the reason. Okay. The posters from before 1984 version and 2000 version, you can see the title are still in the traditional, typography. It got this little triangle thing at the end of the letter, which is appropriate for that time because that's the main type. Letters, how it's shaped, and also that's kind of like a classical literature look kind of letter. And I was thinking, like, how come, like 21 years later, the third installment of the same story, the visual presentation of the title, all of a sudden like advanced to far ahead of the future instead of the what we used to be 20 or almost 40 years ago. Like what happened in the middle? And then I realized, okay, one thing, technology really advanced in the past 21 years from 2000, which, if you recall, is the bust, the boom and bust of the internet age. So it's just the beginning of computer getting into our lives, and the internet getting popular, and we don't have much presence of social media at the time. The whole web is still a wild place to explore. The format, how to communicate online is still a really, really new thing. And also the computer technology in general, especially graphic design, is really limited. And later on, we have programs, softwares, and tools that we can do so much. And I'm pretty sure, like for movie industry, which always exploit the best of the technology, the best of the talent in our industry, came up with this image. And this just make me so, I want to say, so proud of my civilization that somebody has this, the vision to see through the characters and, the letters. In English, we call it the letters, and then abstract see the essence of this, like the main frame, the main arch, like see an arch in each of these letters. And this makes me happy that I'm in 2021 and I'm with this type of artistry and technology versus 2000 or earlier. And what I take from this, my first takeaway is dimensional reduction. So a letter, a word, a symbol, or anything visual, anything got a set of attributes, right? And that in the math or statistics lingo is called a dimension. So it got certain features and it got certain lines or certain meanings behind it. And dimension reduction is just to come to make things simpler and discard whatever the extra features that are not really essential, and extract the commonalities among things. So in the case of this DUNE 4 letters situation, whoever is the genius did this dimensional reduction, saw this arch among existing in all of them, and visualize that for us. And that renders the movie so much more power at the end. It's really like its own civilization created for us. And I'm going to watch the movie again tonight, so I'm just going to relive that civilization again. So the Chinese corresponding concept is called 去粗取精. I don't know why I put the red color on 去. Let it be. Okay, 去 simply means remove. So 去粗, remove. 粗, 粗. Okay, if you see 粗 and 细, both of them got this almost like English flag thing that you got space cut into a space cut by 2 crosses. One is this and one is kind of this, right? So you have almost like a pizza cut, 8 pieces, but it's not a continuous line, it's broken. So there's a certain way of writing it, but simply in Chinese, it means grain, like the rice or wheat, whatever that comes in the grain, and which are essential to survival in now and in the past, right? And the right side, 粗 and 精 simply means if this is refined, 精 means refined, that you kind of did some processing to remove the shell, or I don't know, I don't exactly know how agriculture works, but 粗 means multigrain. It's corresponding to today's healthy eating habit of not having too much processed and refined food, but eat in more of its original form, right? Because original form are more nutritious. But in this context, 粗 means pre-processed, and 精 means after processed. And we have 去 means removed, and 取 means take it away. So so imagine this, okay, 去, remove the pre-processed, which in this context means noise, things you don't want to know, things you don't want to keep, things you don't want to be part of the picture, so to speak, right? So the D, the vertical line in the D is the 粗 in this situation, so removed. And the horizontal line in the E was the 粗, the noise, removed. And we were left with this arch thing. That's the essence. Okay, and who came up with this phrase? Actually, the founding father of the current regime in China, Chairman Mao. And he, in one of his major works, kind of philosophy book, used this phrase to teach teach Chinese people how to think, which is to remove the irrelevant, and then you get the main thing out from it. And I think that concept tied well with this dimensional reduction idea, that you remove, less important things, keep the most important, so that you can find something universal from all of the elements. I mean, Mao becomes the founding father has some reason, like he got some personal vision, and he got some, he's well-read literature man, and he got this idea, many great ideas. I'm not going to comment on Mao, but this is the connection between the two cultures. And this is what I take from this image, that it's so powerful, and it tied to what I've heard when I was growing up, how I was educated. And this is, because it's a Mao saying, so everybody in China well-known phrase. Okay, so my second takeaway from this movie is the moment. Actually, I watch a lot of the commentaries of the movie. Nobody mentioned it. I don't know why, but this, to me, is one of the highest forms of intelligence or wisdom presented in the movie, because the movie had many testing moments for the main character, Paul, for him to either die or survive, become stronger, or demonstrate that he can be the one, right? So in one of this major tests is this flying through a sandstorm. Chance of surviving that is pretty much non-exist. That's when the bad guy, I don't know everybody's name in the movie, that reported to bigger bad guy that pretty sure he's dead because nobody can survive the sandstorm. It is true only under certain condition. What condition? It's like you really fly the airplane, which is made like a mechanically like a dragonfly, right? It got wings and with quick up and down movement to fly. And so nobody can fly through that on the airplane through that sandstorm. But Paul, the main character, he has this ability to tap into wisdom before or after him. Like the whole universe, the best thinking presented themselves, like the right idea at the right moment, at this critical survival moment, that he has to make a decision, like how to survive that when his airplane that he and his mom are going to, like, apparently not going to make it when the big rocks in a storm kind of hit it and the window panes starting to break. And then it's really a life death test, and he has to make the decision at that moment, like what to do to survive this. And this vision occurred to him that men who are living in this environment in the sand world showed him the philosophy of, well, you cannot survive when something gigantic in nature happens, like a big natural force just overpower you. Like with your power, you just cannot fight against it. So what to do? To go with the flow and to be part of it. So that's when he made the right call by closing the wings of the airplane, which I captured this screenshot of, this dragonfly airplane, close the wings to the back of it. And then it become still, like power off, that there is no motion. The whole airplane from an aircraft turned into a gigantic rock or gigantic sand among the sandstorm. And then so that the storm, the forces in the storm, whatever aerodynamics in it, whatever current it's in, carried this big rock like the rest of the rocks. So the big natural force take care of the airplane like the rest of the rocks, and they're not going, the airplane are not going to be out of sync of the whole rhythm of natural force. That's how it survived. And I remember in the movie, I've searched throughout the web for this image, but nobody captured that, like nobody's talking about it. At the end of the storm, when the airplane survived the storm and heading out of the dust, the sand dust, that it spread out the winds again. Like that's the moment, I mean, again, like that's good intuition for Paul to restart the engine, know what's the right moment to turn it back on, right? And then you know, there is this bird's eye view, like a camera looking down at the airplane. That's the survivor of the sandstorm. And eventually they ran out of gas or whatever, you know, energy form they were using then, that like there's no gas situation, what to do? So he come up with another solution, which is kind of easier to find, that spread out the wind and then kind of turn the two back winds toward you know, backwards, and then have the widest span on the front winds. So that's how he tried to balance the airplane and to glide through. So it become a slider. It's not, you know, powered or engine, but again, riding the air, like a flying, like a soaring eagle or something, like in nature. Like that's how he managed to land without a engine. So this I find is a touching moment. I mean, at that point, I almost cried in the theater. I feel like, wow, this is a very high calling kind of inspiration that he got, that made him survive the sandstorm, and just by no fighting, like be part of it. It's kind of a be in trust of the bigger force than you. So in that moment, engine turn off. He and his mom just buckle up and relax and chill and rest in the airplane, do nothing, eyes closed, just let it, you know, the nature's force does the work. And that's like put trust in, you know, higher form. And in Chinese concept, I find this very short, very simple words, you know, big concepts, but in simple characters. Again, that's wu wei. Wu means no, means negate, there's nothing. Wei means you do something. So wu wei. And I mean, see how it sounds. It's almost like both starts with this W beginner, right? Wu and then wei, both of them are rising tone. So it's kind of like a special message that it got almost similar sound. You have to, you know, distinguish the two sound. And because it's such a commonly used phrase in Chinese language, like it's embedded in our language, at some moment we just throw it out to say, okay, this is how you should handle the situation. Be part of it, do nothing, go with the flow. And that is the, you know, ancient Chinese philosophy. And I want to expand it a little bit, because we have Wu Wei Er Zhi, which is a type of philosophy giving to the governing, like a government, whatever regime at the time. I mean, of course, it was one of the dynasties, like generations of dynasties under different names, like the whole country owned by different families, or particularly one man, one emperor, or one king or queen. I don't exactly know the like distinctions, but just one guy owns the whole land, the whole country, all the lives on it, right? And this almost semi-god-like figure, how to govern this land, when in fact this is really not semi-god, this is a human, right? One human put in so much power concentrated on one person, and this is like whatever decision that one person made can have the impact on so many lives. Like that's a huge gigantic responsibility. And of course, I mean, back then the emperors probably don't think that way. It's like, I own it, I want to do whatever. But there is this governing advice passed down through generations, kind of like similar to Americans' concept of small government. So it's like you do little. So literal translation is no do, right? Do nothing. Art, we probably saw that before. I don't remember. But art means but, however, it's like twist of the logic. So in this case, like you do nothing, but you govern that way. Like governing seems like a busy function, right? But you do nothing while governing. It's like juxtaposition. It's really contrasting concept, but that's how you govern. That's one of the forms of how you govern, which is by do nothing. It's kind of like let nature take care of itself. It will find its way. Like whatever you choose to do, probably it's suboptimal at a point. Okay, and then just to give you the idea of how Wu are formed, you don't need to remember, even look at this. It's just paired with different words. And these are the common phrases in Chinese that we have: Wu ai, no harm, or no resistance, or no biggie, simply put it. Wu liao, this is one of the most common words my kid use. That's like boring, like it has nothing exciting. It's almost like liao in its original form means like no chat, like no talk, like there's nothing to say. So it's like no interest. Wang is xi wang, hope. So there's no hope. So that's how Wu compared with different words to create this, negation situation. And so this is how I tie to today's phrase, which is 心神不宁. So 不 is also negate. I also put no there, but actually they're negating different things. So again, this is the kind of language use that I have to sort through my brain of the sample, like a sampling of different words to make sense of, okay, in what situation we use 不, in what situation we use 无. So I list out some for me to see so that I can tell you the sense or the rule, of the language use. So 不想, 不听, 不说 is like 不想, it's like I don't want to do something. 想, we had it before, right? Original form, meaning is think, like no think. Like I don't think I want to do something. So it's like no want, I translate. 不听 is not listen to somebody. 不说 is no speak. I don't want to say anything about, like no comment. Okay. So that's in comparison of 无 and 不 simply means, Wu, I said, it looks like most the pairings with Wu is a noun, right? Harm, interest, hope, they're nouns. And 不, so paired with want, listen or speak, it's verbs. So this is how I extract the essence of Wu and 不 because negations are part of this logic operator, right? If anything, take away from Chinese language, learn to say these two different type of negation and understand that there are rules, behind how language operate, which you pair this Wu with nouns, and then you pair 不 with words. Okay, that's the end of today's bonus. You learn a little bit of language and you learn a bit, most important thing of philosophy that we can find in Chinese language, pearls of thought, I refer to them. Like we already have this way of thinking, and which captures in this short phrases, like this short, just 2 characters, very simple characters, and they put a lot of philosophy that can help you survive a sandstorm situation. Okay, amazing, right? So I recommend the movie to anybody who is not only interested in sci-fi, but just want to see the latest, the best of what technology up to this point, 2021, can put together. I mean, the director must have done a great job of using all the best available tools up to this point to show visually, audially, tell us a story and create a universe for all of us. So thank you very much. Hope you'll come back again tomorrow.